Aloha, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Trauma Recovery University. I am your host, Athena Moberg, and with me in the green room is your incredible co-host and my esteemed colleague, Bobby Parrish. Tonight's topic is a big one, and it is encouraging, and it is post-traumatic growth. What is post-traumatic growth? What is that even? Is it like PTSD? Is it growing beyond PTSD? What does it have to do with us as adult survivors of childhood abuse? Is it something that we recognize in ourselves? Is it something we only recognize in others? How is it that we can intentionally grow or even experience post-traumatic growth? We're going to unpack everything, and we're going to talk a lot tonight about not the positive side of abuse, because there is no positive side of abuse. We're going to talk about the positives that we can glean from our recovery journey, which is all on us, and it's all hard work. So, hello, quite the heated topic. Our chats this week have been amazing, and I want to give you a very special welcome if this is your first time joining us and you're not familiar with our broadcast. We are Athena Moberg and Bobby Parrish, and we love talking to adult survivors of childhood abuse, specifically childhood sexual abuse. And we also love coming to you live every single week here on Mondays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for live Q&A Mondays every single week. So this is a live interactive broadcast. We would love for you to go to twitter.com and type in the hashtag no more shame, just like how it says right here on our cool little banner during our live broadcast. So if you want to send in your questions, comments, or even just say hello to us, I want to say a very special hello to Melissa Wilson and Kate on SVU, who are already here live with us. And we look forward to answering everyone's questions, plural, on post-traumatic growth this evening on the very last day of No More Shame November of 2015, if you're tuning in live. And if you are listening on a podcast platform and you're not watching us, we want to remind you this is a video broadcast. You can find us on our Roku TV channel on any Roku device or a Roku television by typing in Trauma Recovery University. You can also find us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, where we have over 70 hours of conversations, educational resources, and help and support for you, the adult survivor of child abuse. You can find that by going to youtube.com/Trauma Recovery University TV. It is my honor and my privilege to serve this incredible, brave community of survivors and introduce you to my partner, who's going to take it from here. Bobby Parrish, take it away.
Hey, everybody. I want to show you something really cool today after I send out my tweet. I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. And you can see how it wiggles and wobbles around. You can twist it,
that looks
turn
very
it.
fun.
It is. And this one is all fuzzy. These are called STEM toys. There's this one, I have this one. And then here's this. That's what this one would look like if you took all the fuzzies off of it. It looks just like this, and it's made up of, I think it's 17 little tiny parts. And you can twist them around and squish them up together. And then they also come apart at the seam, as I have felt like I have done many times in my life.
Me too.
Anyway, and then they go back together, and then you can just play with them again. Now, they're called STEM toys. They're originally developed for autistic children because for autistic children, they need to have something to do with their hands in order to completely focus on what's going on around them. STEM meaning stimulation. So if they have something to do with their hands, then they can focus on the task going on around them. But someone in one of our support groups posted a video of the STEM toys that she had because she said they helped her anxiety. And so I went on to Amazon, and if you search on Amazon for, Athena and I were just talking about this, if you search for STEM toys, don't do that. You end up with things not what you want to find.
You end up with things that are super duper triggering, and you don't want to even go there. Maybe.
No. You don't want to go on Amazon looking for sex toys. That's what you'll get. So instead, you can either search for the name brand of this. This is called a Tangle. It even says it here somewhere. There we go. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Can you see it there, Tangle?
I can see it perfect.
Yes.
I'm going to stop talking.
And then it'll bring this up, and there probably are 100 different kinds of things that they label toys for autistic children. This one I think was about $7. This one, which is a whole ton of fun because it really engages your senses. This is plastic. It's that plastic stuff that some kids' toys are made of. So it's stretchy, it feels good, but it doesn't feel gooey and squishy, because gooey and squishy can sometimes be very triggering for survivors. This one I think was about $6 on Amazon. And so I ordered them on Monday and it came on Tuesday. But I think that's because I'm here in Dallas in the Metroplex, and they have some awesome distribution centers. So if you are looking for something that can occupy you while you're watching television, while you're working on the computer, if you're looking for something that will help you avoid a behavior, like I have some clients that self-harm, and sometimes we teach them how to put a rubber band around their wrist and give themselves something to play with. This is an alternative. So this gives them something to engage their hands and to soak up some of their anxious energy without resorting to something that is harmful. So I wanted to show these to you guys tonight because I know about them in terms of being STEM toys for people with autism, but it never occurred to me that they would be useful for people dealing with anxiety or PTSD. So I wanted to show them to you so that you know about something else that's out there that might be helpful for you. They're relatively inexpensive, and they're easily available on Amazon. I'm sure that you could find them. Some people on Amazon said they could find them at learning stores, where teachers go or homeschool moms go and buy. That was very nice. Homeschooling parents, because there are homeschooling dads out there too. You can buy them at the teacher supplies or learning supply stores. So that's one more resource. And if we identify anything else like this, we'll go ahead and bring it to you guys so you have it available to you. And anything else? We have to issue our standard trigger warning. This video does talk about childhood abuse, and specifically we'll talk about childhood sexual abuse. So if you are triggered, just go ahead and pause the video or turn it off and walk away. It takes about a couple of hours after our episodes are over for them to go up on our YouTube channel. So if you turn it off now and walk away, you're not going to miss out. You can watch it anytime you like on our YouTube channel or on Roku TV. And we don't want this to be something that is a source of stress to you. We want it to be helpful. So we would really encourage you just to walk away if it causes you stress. As Athena and I were talking about before we went on, somehow that combination of visually seeing us and then hearing the comments that we make seems to make these videos more susceptible to triggering people than if they're just participating in one of our written Twitter chats. So if you're triggered, just go ahead and walk away. If you're in crisis or you need help, we encourage you to reach out to our friends at RAINN, and that is the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network. For those who are in the U.S., they have a 1-800 line, and it's 1-800-656-HOPE, H-O-P-E. They also have a crisis chat feature, which can be accessed anywhere in the world on their website at RAINN.org. And if you are in the UK, because we have a growing audience in the UK, you can reach out to the Samaritans. And specifically, we encourage you to email Jo, J-O, at samaritans.org, because she is awesome at supporting survivors of sexual abuse. So you have resources in case you're in crisis or are triggered. We have support groups, which you are more than happy to reach out to join, and we'll show you that contact information at the end of the show.
Yes.
There we go.
I wanted to, if I can, I wanted to share when we were in the green room prior to going live, and we were talking a little bit about my wins, my post-traumatic growth wins for the week. I think I want to share that.
Go for it.
Okay. So tonight's topic, post-traumatic growth, it's not the bright side of abuse, because hello, that's an oxymoron. There is no bright side of abuse. That would be like for you out there that have trouble grasping the abuse. Be watching this video. That would be like your poor little innocent dog that is super excited to see you when you get home, and you decide to kick the crap out of your dog until he's yelping and he's terrified of you. Yeah, there's no bright side to that. You're just a freaking animal harming, predatory jerk. Like, there's no upside for the dog. Like, if the dog gets a new home later on down the road, and the dog gets to have loving parents that don't kick the crap out of it, but it still has that little startle response, like whenever somebody does something, like takes off their shoes, like here in Hawaii, we take off our shoes. That's not a bright side even still for the dog. Okay, even when the dog gets new family and all this other stuff, there's no bright side to triggers. There's no bright side to abuse. There's no, yay, aren't you so glad your abuse happened because it made you who you are today? Golly gee. No, that is not what we are saying here. Because I'm telling you, while I am thankful for the community of people and the wisdom and the empathy and the compassion and the awesomeness that I get to experience in community with every single one of you people who are super duper brave, I'm not thankful that I was beaten and not given proper food and told to drink out of the garden hose and lent out and traded and picked on and bullied and ridiculed and then minimized. Like, no, I'm sorry, that's never going to be fun. So post-traumatic growth, what I want to share with you right now, and rant, is when I very first met Bobby, my amazing business partner, and Rachel Thompson, who started Sex Abuse Chat Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific, shameless plug, hashtag Sex Abuse Chat. When I first met them, the reason I met them, you guys, is because I was severely triggered right after an episode of, right after a session with a helping professional trying to help me understand why I was losing my mind and why I was spinning out and experiencing a nervous breakdown. I was at my very last session, and it was a phone session because we were recording it so that I could hear my progress and help it so that it would help me later on down the road. At the end of that telephone session, I received an email from my uncle who molested me when I was 4, my mom's little brother. And first of all, I hadn't heard from him since my grandmother's funeral, like almost 10 years ago now. And secondly, hello, like I was spinning out from remembering sexual abuse, and to have one of your sexual abusers contact you is really freaking crazy, and it's very triggering. So I felt violated. I was in my safe place. I was in my home. I was with my helping professional. And then my safe place was completely invaded by this email that came in. And it was just one of those spam emails, you guys. Like, what are you doing in this picture? Click here. Like, innocent. Who knows how he got my email address? It was probably on some sort of a group email. it was a spam. It wasn't even sent from him, the predator that molested me. I'm going to be evil and I'm going to send an email to Athena and freak her. Horrible damage. No, like that's not even how it happened. It was just his email box was spammed and I randomly got an email. But guess what? I was flat out not okay mentally and emotionally for months. Bobby, how many months? Like, can you even gauge how many months I was not okay? Seriously.
Well, personally, I would never say that you weren't okay.
Okay. Well, I felt like I wasn't okay.
You've always been okay, but you had a hard time probably for about 6 or 7 months afterwards.
Yeah. So thank you. And thank you for saying that I'm okay, because I feel okay now. But at the time, you guys, I did not feel okay.
Yeah.
And it took me 7 months to recover from that bump in the road, because that bump in the road was actually a flippin' ditch that I fell down into for 7 effing months. Okay. But guess what? I got an email today from my uncle that molested me when I was 4. And I went, huh, I bet that's a spam email. I'm not even going to look. And I'm going to breathe my way through this. I am super triggered right now. And I'm not going to choose an unhealthy coping strategy like overeating, or I'm not going to go on my treadmill for an hour and a half and try to be anorexic and control my weight. I'm not going to flip out right now like I know that I would have. I'm going to breathe my way through this. I'm going to ground myself. And I'm going to be okay. And you know what? I'm okay. Like, I couldn't wait to celebrate that win. And I think it's rather hilarious that it happened on today's episode regarding post-traumatic growth. So that's kind of the end of, hey, let's spotlight Athena. And like, that's the end of my soapbox. But I had to share with you guys that that is a huge win for me, because that would have normally spun me out like a year or two ago. I would not be okay for like probably half of 2016. I would literally be immobilized. I would not be okay, because it would have caused me to have all these memories. And like, even though I'm dealing with being triggered and I have memories, you guys, I'm farther along in my recovery process, and I certainly don't have it all figured out, and I certainly have not arrived, but that's a really big win for me to not be emailing Bobby telling her, I don't think I can go on tonight. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can work. I don't think I can do anything. I think I need to go lay down in my bed and just die. So huge win.
Huge win. And I want to put a name to that. Athena, and I've told her this before, but it is hard. And we'll talk about this later. It's hard to see our own recovery process progress as we make it. It's easier for other people to see it and tell us that, but that is called becoming more resilient. And Athena has become so much more resilient as she has progressed here in her recovery. And the term resiliency, what I think of when I think about resiliency is the concept of someone jumping on a trampoline. Okay? When you're not very resilient and you jump on that trampoline, the fabric sinks down with you. So you're going to sink down into that trampoline because there's not much elasticity in the trampoline. But the stronger you get, the more it gets, and the more elasticity, the stronger the elasticity is. There we go. I'm not doing a good job with this, but yes, I hope y'all get what I mean.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Go.
So when you jump, it doesn't have that much give to it anymore. You don't sink down. And so it just kind of gives you a little bit of a bubble, because we're not saying that these things are never going to cause us pain. This week, I wrote a blog post for Rachel in the OC that hit me really hard. And I was talking to someone about it and how it was difficult for me to remember the things that I talked about in the blog post. And she said, well, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay, because I've figured out my process. That for me, when I'm triggered, the pain will come in like a wave and it will swamp me. But then, like any wave, it will recede. And I have to not fight the wave and just let it be. Let my feelings come and know that in a couple days I'll be okay. But not to reject the feelings, not to fight against the feelings, but to acknowledge them and feel them, because those were reasons to be sad. Those were reasons to be upset. The things I went through as a child, those are good reasons to feel pain. But they'll go away. And it'll leave me. And it doesn't, like Athena talked about, it doesn't knock you down into a ditch for months like it used to. And eventually the waves won't have as much strength and they won't stay as long. And you'll bounce back up faster than you used to, and you will become more resilient. We need to do a video on resiliency. That would be a good thing.
Oh, I'm going to write that down. I'm in a different area, so I have pen and paper right here. I'm going to write that down right now. You guys, I have my lovely Christmas tree in the background because I wanted to be festive, but I'm going to write down resiliency, and I'm going to tweet this out, but I wanted to respond here on video to Kate. Kate said, "You are so strong, Athena. Wow." And I want to say a very, very, very clear and humble, this community right here, you guys, like, hello, you are the ones that are strong. You build me up. You are the wind beneath my wings. You raise me up. I mean, anything. Like, I could sing like a million songs right now. It's you guys. Like, if it wasn't for this community, and I've said this in multiple blog posts, I said this in my book, and I will continue to say it on videos, which I have multiple times, and in Twitter chats, these chats and this community saved my life, period. And I get emails from people, Bobby and I both do, and I'm sure Rachel does too, that say, I chose not to commit suicide, yay, growth, because of one of your videos. Now, that's not because of me, and that's not because of Bobby, and it's not only because of Rachel. It's because this community is so supportive. I've never seen anything like it in all of my life. I'm 42 years old. Bobby is almost 50. And you guys, like, this is the real deal. You're not just like watching a couple of people that want to talk about something that's buzzy so that we can, gain some following on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Like, we live and breathe this stuff, and we are intimately involved with almost every single one of our community members. So you guys are the thing that is strong. You guys and all of us, strength in numbers, like, that's the magic. That is the strength that I glean from that strength. I feed off of that strength. I mean, obviously, yes, like, the joy of the Lord is my strength. Obviously, I'm very strong in my faith, and I'm a woman of faith, and you guys already know that about me. But in faith and safe community is how all of this works itself through, so that we can be whole, so we can experience wholeness. And that's always my message, is wholeness. So thank you, Kate, but it's all you guys. So
yeah, otherwise it would just be Athena and I sitting here talking to each other.
That would be super duper fun, but not as awesome.
Because we've done that a lot.
We have. Resiliency. I'm writing it down, Bobby. Yes. Resiliency. Okay.
Resiliency. Yes, yes, yes. The more you have, the better you are.
Yeah, you guys are the reason why I'm resilient. You guys are the reason why I even have like the courage to go out and stand in front of these audiences and talk about my humiliating life. Like, it's
your life is not humiliating.
My abuse was super humiliating.
Yes, your abuse was.
It was so humiliating, and like a little part of me relives that humiliation every time I get up and I talk about it.
Of course.
Yeah. But like, I have strength to continue to do that because I know I'm reaching people like you guys. And I'm telling you that I'm the most blessed. Like, seriously, I feel very, very grateful. But each and every one of you guys, I mean, the Melissas, the Jacks, the Simmies, the Kates, the Megans, the Sarahs, the Jeanettes. I mean, you guys, like, we have the most incredible community of survivors. And if I didn't just say your name right now, I'm thinking it. And I'm so sorry, but like, I'm trying to tweet and talk and record and all of it. And I'm not a very good multitasker. So, But you guys are the reason, is basically what I'm saying. You guys are the reason I'm resilient, and I want to give credit where credit is due. So,
well, that's pretty much the theme of what we're talking about tonight, is giving credit where credit is due. And a couple people have mentioned on the Twitter stream and this morning in chat, people talked about how there have been people who told us we should be grateful that we were abused because it's made us the person we are today.
Hey, I experienced that.
Yes, you did.
Bobby, I did. I was Skyping with my mom. I was Skyping with my mom, you guys, and she, with my husband next to me, so I know that I didn't imagine it all, and I'm not, as crazy. We're all a little crazy. But I shared with her that I couldn't speak with her anymore, and the words that she uses when she talks to me were, I always have this one here, were very painful for me, and that I needed her to stop, and that I'm struggling. And her response was, she said, well, I'm glad that I could help you become the woman you are today.
Yeah.
By abusing me.
Yeah.
There's something like, there's 12,000 different things wrong with that one statement. Like, the level of not okayness of that statement is horrifically tragic. And I'm not saying that to be judgmental, you guys. I'm calling it like I see it. Like, I would never say, I'm glad I harmed you, because you are the person you are today because I harmed you. I beat you and I did horrible things to you. But I'm glad I got to contribute to the woman you are today, because you're amazing. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
well, that's the height of narcissism.
It is, sadly.
But the reality is that we are not who we are today because of our abuse. We are who we are today because of the way that we respond to our abuse. Your response is what makes you great. Your response is what creates the post-traumatic growth. It's not the abuse. It's not the adversity. It's how you have chosen to respond to it that has made you who you are. And if there are good things that you learned in that response as you were responding to the adversity, this post-traumatic growth is not just something that is germane to child abuse. You could be a survivor of a natural disaster. You could have served in a war zone. You could have been involved in a horrible car accident. Anything that is traumatic, we can experience from that post-traumatic growth. And you will hear that a lot from people who, a lot of motivational speakers will talk about the horrible things that they went through and the way that it changed their thinking, or the way that it changed the way they look at the world in their recovery. And that we as human beings find that very motivating. And we love to hear people tell stories like that. But the reality is, it wasn't the horrible thing that happened. It wasn't the trauma that made them who they are. It's how they chose to respond to the trauma. So, Athena, should we put up the one page and take a look at that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anybody. I already said hi to everybody, I think. I don't want to leave anybody out, but yeah, I think bringing up the one page is a really good idea. And again, you guys, this could be very triggering. It's talking about child abuse and the effects of child abuse, but this is the broadcast that has the upside, and we talk about the growth that we're experiencing in our recovery. So hopefully this can really help you in seeing a little bit of a bright side. Kate, I'm totally thinking of you right now.
Okay, let's take a look at the one page as I find it here in front of me. Whoop, there we go. And as is typical, the first few paragraphs on the page are education about the topic, information about the topic, and then we go into some tips and strategies for how to implement things that can help you today. Okay, so traumatic experiences such as child abuse, war zone, witnessing, or being in a natural disaster will often cause post-traumatic stress disorder. And recovery from PTSD can be lengthy and complicated, but it can also result in significant personal growth and development. And the process of using our adversity to propel ourselves forward is called post-traumatic growth. And as an aside, I don't think anybody goes into recovery from PTSD or from a traumatic event in order to experience growth. You go into recovery because you don't want to experience your pain and your disabling symptoms and the horrible days and nights that you're going through, reliving your trauma, flashbacks, anxiety attacks, depression. So, and post-traumatic growth also is not the main goal that you should have in your recovery, but it is a nice side benefit. And we will all experience different amounts of post-traumatic growth. So while some people, yes, they may go forward and start speaking on stages and giving motivational speeches, others of us will become very adept healers in terms of becoming mental health professionals or mentors to people who have gone through abuse themselves. And others of us will become very sensitive, compassionate, and caring parents. So there's no tried and true recipe or tried and true method for how to get the most growth out of your recovery. But I do guarantee that if you, as you're going through recovery, if you focus on those things that you feel like you're experiencing growth in, if you're developing new talents or skills or capabilities, if you start to put those into use, as we'll talk about more here as we go down in the one page, that you will experience post-traumatic growth. And it will be an awesome side benefit of having gone through recovery.
Yeah.
Many of us who do achieve great growth during the process of recovery, many of us do, sorry, wow, that was weird. We gain greater insight into our emotions and behaviors as well as those around us. And this can be one of the big reasons that we go into therapy or recovery, because we want to understand why. Human beings have this innate drive to know why. Why did that happen? It doesn't make sense. And that's fine. And that's a good reason to look for in recovery. But while you're figuring that out, you can become very adept at understanding people's emotional reactions and understanding people's motivations behind the decisions that they make. And not only can you put that to use in your recovery, but you can put that into use as you interact with people around you, whether it is as simple as family members, your spouse, or your children, or as significant as going back to school and getting your master's degree in counseling and opening up your own practice. All of us are going to develop different degrees of capabilities. Often we become very compassionate and empathetic people who have a huge capacity to help others in difficult circumstances. As a result of those personal developments, people will often tell us, here we go, we should be grateful for our abuse because it made us better people. But that couldn't be more wrong. And it is really frustrating for us to hear that. I can remember I've had people ask me before, well, if you were given the choice to go through your abuse again, knowing you would become this, wonderful person capable of helping other people, would you do it? No. No, I wouldn't. Not in a heartbeat. I would not go through that again. But I did, and I can't change that. And so I will take the post-traumatic growth that I have earned as a result of my recovery, and I will use it. But I'm not thankful for the abuse. And I would not go back and say, "Ooh, yes, I choose abuse." I also had someone once tell me that, and this was a mental health professional too, told me that in a prior life, I must have consented to come back as a victim of abuse so that I could learn a particular lesson.
Wow.
And I thought that was really interesting.
I got told the same thing, Bobby. Remember I told you I was at this colleagues of mine. We were working, we were colleagues in the same entrepreneurial group, and I was over at her condo a few minutes, like 10 minutes up north from my house. And we were both looking into trademarking pieces of our business. And she spouted out of nowhere that I forget the word she used, like not I attracted it, like, because it's like a law of attraction type of woo-woo, whatever.
Right.
But that I needed to be raped and molested and beaten and abused as a child in order to complete like what my life is about. Like I must have, that's what I must have needed to become the person I am.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I mean, I got this like mama bear up inside me, and I, with every word or whatever I could possibly say, I just said, you know what? I very respectfully disagree with you, and that is the most ignorant statement I've ever heard. No one chooses to be abused. That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. So anyway, we chose to agree to disagree at that point and move on.
Yes.
I mean, really.
Yeah, that is really, that's insensitive. And that's exactly what the one page is going to tell you right here. This type of comment is not only insensitive, but it is re-traumatizing to the survivor of child abuse or someone serving in a war zone or witnessing a natural disaster. So please choose to be humane and always err on the side of compassion if you wish to be part of the solution rather than the problem. Never encourage a survivor to be thankful for their abuse. Encourage them to be thankful that they have worked very hard in their recovery. Encourage them to be thankful for what they may have learned in their recovery. But wow, nope, you never have to be thankful for your abuse. Never, never.
Bobby, I have a post-traumatic growth comment win from August.
Okay.
August says that, I always say she, but what if it's not a she? What if it's a he? Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at this. August says, I am learning for the first time that I am allowed to say no. Huge step for me. I am celebrating with you, August. Confetti. Wow. Do you remember the first time you realized you could say no, Bobby? I do.
No, I don't remember the first time.
Oh my gosh. I was reading that book called Boundaries, and I was like, whoa, what? I'm allowed to choose to accept or reject information and let people know that certain things are not okay. Oh my word. I just didn't, you guys, I just didn't even understand. I didn't even know that that was possible. Seriously.
Well, we were never given that option as children.
No.
We couldn't say no. And if you did say no, guess what? You got more abused than you did if you just kept your mouth quiet. So we learned.
You got told that you were going to get knocked clear into next week. I'll knock you clear into next week. That's what I got told.
Yeah. Well,
that's as redneck as you can get right there.
I might actually choose that sometimes because it would have let me skip over these days, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing, you guys. Post-traumatic growth comes from our response to our trauma, not from the trauma itself. Our trauma did not benefit us in any way. In fact, what we have to do as survivors is grieve the losses that we experienced. And nor were we responsible in any way for causing someone to abuse us. But what we are responsible for is our post-traumatic growth. That's all ours. We own that. It's ours. We get to keep it, take it home. We never have to lose it or give it back. It's ours. Because we did that. You know, what I would very much love is to see all of you come to the end of your recovery, or at least close to the end, or even the middle point, and turn around and look at the journey that you've made and go, I did that. I did that. I did that. Look at me. I came all that distance. I crossed all that territory. I surmounted all of those obstacles. I did that. Because there's nobody else who's responsible for your progress and your growth except you.
Yeah.
Nobody else gets to own it. In recovery, we have choices about how we will respond to the challenges and difficulties we face. Many of us can and do choose both recovery and growth. And we emerge from our recovery with capabilities and talents that we did not have prior to our traumatic experience. Now, somebody brought this particular point up in chat this morning, that for many of us, our abuse started so young that there was no before. I sometimes get a kick out of using the word recovery because I don't have anything to recover. I never had it in the first place. You know, literally the word recover means to gain back, to take back. But I never had anything to start with. I was so young when my abuse started. So I haven't come up with an alternative word, but someday I will. I will be inspired and come up with a word for those of us who are not necessarily in recovery, but are in, I don't know. You guys think about that. See if we can come up with a word that reflects the fact that we've just created something instead than recovered something.
I feel like it. I think we need to think on a word because you're right. Like, I thought that my abuse started when I was 4, and then I started having more memories of things like, you know, not clear memories prior to 4, but I had emotional flashbacks and body memories. And then I was deducing, you know, the comments that doctors had made to me in my exams and so forth. So then, I mean, gosh, you can just unravel it so far, Bobby, but how do you call that recovery? So you're right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we'll go ahead and use the word, but I'm not going to give up on thinking something else. I'm going to come up with something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to facilitate post-traumatic growth. Remember that it is hard for us to see our own progress as we move through recovery. Ask your safe, supportive people to help you become aware of how you're positively moving forward, as well as noticing any particular talents or capabilities that you are developing. It is hard when we're on that road and we're slogging through every cotton pick and footstep to see that we have made any good progress. Okay, we're moving forward. We're putting one foot in front of the other. But every day feels like it's just as bad as the one before. But others who have some objectivity, who can look at the big picture, will be able to tell you how they think you have grown and skills that they have seen you develop that you didn't have before. And ask for that when you're feeling discouraged, when you're feeling like things are not getting better and they're never going to get better. Ask people, have you seen me make progress? Do you see things that I'm doing, so much better than I used to. And it's okay to ask for that. And I would really encourage you to ask your support team. If you're involved in one of our safe communities, ask the people, how have you seen me change? I feel like I've been stuck in the same spot for months, and I have yet to see anybody in one of our groups ask that question and not be buoyed up by the resulting comments that they get from our community members.
Same here. It's incredible. It's the most incredible thing to watch it transpire.
Yeah. And then put those new skills to use. For example, in our support groups, we're beginning to select people from the community to become moderators in the support groups. And this allows people who have in their recovery developed good helping skills to put them into place. And when you put those in place and you use them, it bolsters your self-esteem. And when your self-esteem and your self-worth get higher, guess what? That means an easier recovery and more post-traumatic growth.
I have another post-traumatic growth comment on Twitter, Bobby.
Okay.
So Simi says, in response to I tweeted out, what are some ways you've experienced growth in your recovery? Simi says, one of the wonderful things I have learned in my recovery from abuse is how to take care of my trauma child.
Yes. That's interesting because I asked this morning in chat about what people thought that they had gained as a result of the work they had put into their recovery, and many people talked about self-care.
Yeah. Oh, Simi says that there's a great word to use instead of recovery. A word could be healing.
Yes.
I like that word. I almost want it to be more specific. But I love that word. Thank you, Simi.
Okay. This next one's important. Avoid putting any pressure on yourself to force growth. It's kind of like that watched pot never boils kind of concept. If you are watching for and putting pressure on yourself to experience growth, it's hard for the growth to actually occur. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. Each of us is going to experience growth in different ways, at different levels, at different speeds. And if you're sitting there saying, wait a minute, I don't think I've had that. I don't think I've experienced any post-traumatic growth. I must be doing something wrong. I must not be recovering correctly. No, absolutely. I do not want you to walk away from this video feeling that. It comes in all shapes and sizes, forms, speeds. And if you are recovering, if you are feeling better, if you are stronger and more resilient, you're not doing it wrong.
No, you're not doing it wrong. And it is often something that will be noticed from afar. It is something that someone else will notice about you. And it could be something as small as the person at the gas station, when you go pay, notices that you have the courage to look at them in the eyes rather than keep your eyes down at the floor when you pay, or, being just a little bit more assertive, or making one good choice this week, whereas last week you weren't able to make a good choice, or being triggered fewer times this week than you were last week. Or, it could be something very small and it could be something very huge, you guys. But just because I don't experience any post-traumatic growth this week, but I experienced it before, or I may experience in the future, doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong this week.
No.
It just means that I didn't experience post-traumatic growth this week. That's all it means. Like, it is what it is,
Yes. It's the nature of the beast. Recovery is unpredictable. It can come in leaps and bounds, and then for the next month, it can come slow as a snail's pace. And we can work our heinies off and still have the erratic pattern of recovery that we do. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. And I really don't want anybody to walk away from this video feeling that kind of message, because it's not the truth. You know, and a lot of people that I interact with who experience post-traumatic growth end up becoming, I call them healers, but really it could be, you know, a helping professional of any kind. They might decide to become a therapist. They might decide to become a physician. They might decide to become a writer and write books about their traumatic experience so that other people can hopefully receive some information and healing from reading their story. They might decide to become advocates for survivors. They might decide to volunteer in their community to help survivors. And I really want everyone who is in that kind of a place to hear me say that when you are moving from a place of recovery into helping, you need to have strong boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, it's interesting. Someone in chat this morning, a newer person to our chat, asked people if they had experienced depression. Lengthy depression, I believe, was the term that she used. Had long bouts of depression. And several responded, yes, you know, been there. And she said, how do you, I've noticed so many of you are coaches or counselors. How do you be an effective coach or counselor and yet still deal with your depression? And for me, the same answer is what I would say to someone of, you know, how do I put these new skills to use, but still be able to maintain my recovery? And it's all about boundaries. So, you know, don't jump out there and sign up for, you know, 50 hours of counseling your peers every week. You know, sign up for 5 hours and see how that goes. Give yourself permission to start slowly. Give yourself permission to turn down an opportunity if it doesn't seem right to you. Give yourself permission not to try and heal every hurting person. Set some boundaries until you develop your skills even more than they are now.
Yeah. I think my answer to that gal, that doctor that posed the question, I think my answer was community, because I feel like we're stronger together, strength in numbers. And when I can't handle something, since we lead peer support groups, I mean, I'm a peer. Yes, I'm a helping professional, but I'm a peer. And I show up as a peer. I don't ever go in going, hey, everybody, I'm the Messiah. Come to me with all your problems. So I think what I do is I lean on in those moments when I am, whether I am weary or I'm triggered or I'm struggling with some sort of health issue, whether it be mental health, physical health, whatever, then I lean on my community and I let them know I'm reaching out for a lifeline here. You know, can one of you help me with something? Or, you know, or like, and you've modeled that for us too, Bobby, like reaching out, you know, there was a post in one of our groups, you know, Athena's going to be traveling more and my plate is very full. I'm working full time, etc. I'm going to need some volunteers. You know, how many of you would like to help volunteer for like an hour here or an hour there, you know?
Right. And I agree, because I know that if I'm having a hard time, I can say, look, Athena, I'm just, you know, I'm done for right now. You know, can you carry a little bit extra of this? And there are people who are in our Twitter community who can pick up the slack when I'm not feeling well. It's, you know, we talk about community. I know we talk about it a lot, but honestly, I can't think of something that we would need in recovery that our community would not help us with. So, yeah, as you put those new skills into place, make sure you have backup and you have people who have your back and can help you pick up the slack if necessary, or support you when things get hard.
Yeah.
That is definitely one of the most awesome benefits of being in community.
I agree. Kate, on Twitter, we have some more people tweeting in. Bobby, Kate says that a great alternative word for recovery is gain. I like that word too. Great word. Great feedback, Kate. And then Simi says, her hand's shooting up. Dysthymia. I don't know what that means.
Dysthymia?
Uh-huh.
Dysthymia is a moderate level of depression.
Oh.
There you go.
Her hand was shooting up when someone was asking, is anybody living with depression?
Right.
I get it now. I get it. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Cindy. I didn't know that was the flavor of depression that you were living with.
Yeah. Dysthymia is a low-grade long-term depression punctuated by occasional bouts of clinical depression. So it's like a persistent low mood. And then sometimes you dip down into that major depression.
I just saw the tweet. Duh.
Yes.
Did you get the tweet already from Grace Hope? Because we just answered that, Grace Hope. She wanted to know, what if you don't feel like you're making any growth? Oftentimes other people are going to see it before you do, and we want you to be really patient with yourself. I hope that she's watching.
Yes. And make sure and catch the replay.
Yeah.
Because it really is all about...
Simi just answered her. Thank you. You're a rock star, Simi. I love you. Yes, Grace Hope. Simi says, quite often survivors of abuse don't see their own growth. Find a safe person you trust and ask them. Great advice.
Yes.
We are right at the end of our broadcast, you guys. This is about an hour that we have been broadcasting. For those of you that have to hit the road because you gave us your 60 minutes, which we value and treasure every single week. We love you. If you already have our contact information, awesome. If you've already liked our Facebook page, friended us, sent us a message, you have our email address, everything, then you're solid and good, and we're gonna post those up here. You're free to sort of go. It's the end of our weekly content unless other people are tweeting in questions and stuff. But we don't want to keep you longer than 60 minutes unless, of course, you're free to stay with us while we say our goodbyes.
Yes. And we try and put up our oh, all right. No, now is the time when I have to sing and dance while I try and recover my slides.
You're awesome, Bobby.
Oh,
I'll sing and dance for you. Da, 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 da. Wow, Bobby is amazing. Da, 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 da.
oh,
Bobby
mercy.
is amazing. We're gonna have to have Harriet make that a part of our blooper reel.
Yes.
We need to have her put together a blooper reel.
We do. We
Bobby
need
is amazing. Da 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 da. Bobby is amazing.
Okay, let's talk about connecting with us.
Yes.
And we've had more and more people do it the way that we have asked, and that is just awesome.
Before you present to all, I want to say something to some people out there.
Okay.
You guys, we got a couple of nasty grams, and I wanted to just say to you, please be patient with us. We're doing the best we possibly can. We're a 2-man operation right now with just some volunteers, and we have Harriet that helps with the videos. But I got a nasty gram through Trauma Recovery University, you guys, and saying that we're not answering our YouTube questions fast enough. Where did all the comments go? And I need to remind you, the comments that you make within the very first 24 hours, they disappear. They're gone forever. Because a whole brand new video after it's transcribed is being put up onto YouTube. So all of the 100 views or 80 views or 90 views and all the comments goes away, deletes, gone, bye-bye forever. And then a new video comes up with the new comments, and it's all transcribed with all the proper tags and SEO, and it gets uploaded to the website. And like, I mean, there's a whole process in this, you guys. Like, it takes a while. And I understand that, like, you want answers. Like, we all want answers. But,
Yep.
but please be patient with us if we don't have the answers that you want us to have quick enough. And please be patient if we don't respond to your private messages that you send us on Facebook before you friend us, or over on our business page where we don't even get the reminders popping up for us. And so please just be patient with us. We love each and every one of you. We don't love you any less if we don't respond to your emails, or to the Facebook, or to the Twitter, or to YouTube. We don't love you any less. We are only human, and we have a full workload, plus life, plus kids, plus family, plus stuff, just like you. Like, we're not superhuman. So we adore you in spite of your nasty grams, and we welcome you to just come back and be patient. Think. Okay, I'm good. That was my halo. Think.
I like your halo. I have a crown.
I get to be an angel in the Christmas play this year. So I'm going to don my halo for a little bit, and then I'm going to switch back to my crown so I can match you.
My crown and my cape, my superhero cape.
I'm coming over with vodka and bacon, by the way.
Okay. I posted a meme this week that said something like, good friends will cheer you up when you're down, but best friends show up unannounced at your house with superhero costumes, glitter, vodka, and bacon.
Oh, yeah. That's me.
So, okay. Ways to contact us. You can reach me at BobbyLParish@gmail.com. You must put in the L. Don't forget there's an L, because there's somebody else out there who's getting your messages if you're sending them just to Bobby Parish. And I don't know who that person is, but they don't forward them on to me. So make sure the L is in there. And then Athena is at AthenaMobergspeaking@gmail.com. And then we have our joint email address, which is nomoreshameproject@gmail.com. We would love to interact with you on Twitter. Please follow us. And we would love to get your tweets and hear from you. I am Bobby L. Parish on Twitter. Athena is Athena Moberg. And then Trauma Recovery University is Trauma Recovery U. And the capitals don't matter on Twitter. If you would like to connect with us on Facebook, you can find us at our business page, Trauma Recovery University. But please don't send us messages through that box, that message box. We don't get notices about them. It takes us a while to see them, and then you often get forgotten, and that doesn't feel good. So please don't send us messages through the Facebook business page, but send us friend requests instead, and then send us a private message on one of our personal accounts, and we will get back to you. That's right.
After you friend us.
That's right. So my personal business page, that's not right. My business page is Bobby Parish Coaching and Consulting, and Athena's business page is Athena Moberg Speaking. Our personal pages are Bobby Parish and then Donathan Moberg. You are more than welcome to friend us. We would love to accept your friend's request. And then you can send us a message and interact with us there. You can find us 24/7 on YouTube, Trauma Recovery University. You can find us 24/7 on Roku TV, Trauma Recovery University. And then we are on Google Plus too, where you can watch the videos. And then 24/7, 365, you can watch the most recent video that we have made at bit.ly/Trauma Recovery University. And then on Monday nights, this is where you can find us at bit.ly/Trauma Recovery U. The capitals do matter there. And we are live every Monday night. And I'm going to switch over to that one at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern and 2 a.m. Tuesday morning in the UK.
Yeah. Our UK peeps, sometimes if they can't sleep, they come and they join us. And I know we have April, or we have Sarah here tonight with us from the UK. And I know Susan popped in and was sending us some tweets as well. So thanks to our UK audience, our growing UK audience for sure.
Okay, so let's look at this one. Nope, this one. Okay, we have 3 Twitter chats every week. You're welcome to join us for 1. You're welcome to join us for 2. You're welcome to join us for all of them. And you don't need to let us know you're going to be there. There's no registration. Just pop over there and use the hashtag when you send out a tweet, and it will show up in the chat stream. The first one is Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time and 6 p.m. in the UK. And the hashtag for that is CSAQT, Child Sexual Abuse Question Time. And then there is this one that you're interacting with us on right now. It's a video and Twitter chat. And that is 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern, and 2 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. And then Tuesday evening, we have the original sex abuse chat, hashtag sex abuse chat, and that is at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 Eastern and 2 o'clock Wednesday morning. If you would like to interact with us during the week, you can use the No More Shame hashtag, and usually we monitor it periodically and are able to respond to you. But if you want to make sure that we get your messages on Twitter, just send them directly to Athena or I, so at Bobby L. Parrish or at Athena Moberg. And Facebook, okay, here's the all-important simple 4-step method to get introduced into one of our support groups. So, like the Trauma Recovery University page, and then send us friend requests. I recommend that you send them to both Athena and I, because one of us may be busy in something and the other one can get to you more quickly. So send a request to both of us, and then after we have accepted your friend request, send us a message that says, I would like to heal in safe community. Because if you send us messages before we become friends, they end up in our infamous other folder. And I don't know about Athena, but it's been months since I looked in that other folder. So send the friend request.
I don't even know where my other folder is. I can't even find my other folder. So if I have to respond it, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, my word.
Yeah, so send the friend request, and then after it's been accepted. And the only reason I ever don't accept a friend request is if you are a person whose account looks like it was created yesterday and you have no friends and absolutely no information. And then I will probably try and send you a message that says, are you looking to try and heal? Are you a survivor of childhood abuse? So, but other than that, I'm not going to deny your request for friendship. So please don't worry about that. And that is the way to get entrance into one of our support groups on Facebook, Private Secret. So you could even do a search for them on Facebook and they're not going to come up. They're private and secret, and only people that can see what you post in them are the members.
Yay.
And they are awesome.
Oh, I wanted to do a really quick mention that I posted earlier today on social media for all of you guys. I said, if you wanted to receive a snail mail, like a real paper Christmas card from me, private message me your address. And I have to say that our community is amazing. I'm getting responses that say, we want to send you a card. Like, can we please send you a Christmas card? And I love Christmas cards. And so anyway, I just want to thank you guys and just tell you how awesome you are, because you've made my whole day. So, and confession, I just sent Angela CSA, after therapy after CSA, Angela. She's so awesome. I sent her a confession message, you guys. I'm getting out of Twitter right now so I can pay attention to you. Confession, I wish that I loved admin duties. I wish that I loved sending cards and going to the post office and doing all of that. And I want to love it. You guys, I want to love it. I really want to, but it gives me literally a tightness in my chest where I have to go, like I have to like force myself to breathe because I feel like someone's standing on my chest. And I'm not, Bobby, I think you and I should write this down as like a video, because I've had people message me before telling me that certain duties, like household duties or whatever, give them panic attacks. And I don't know, like I feel like I'm not the only one. And I don't know if it's because the post office has been a source of shame for me because so many bills come in and I cannot afford them, like when I was a single mom raising my child by myself. Or what I think it might be is that I was always told growing up that if I didn't send out cards, thank you cards, Christmas cards, birthday cards, if I didn't do that, then I was a horrible, ungrateful person. And so now every time I go to send anything at the post office, when I very first met Bobby a couple years ago, I was literally, remember Bobby? Remember
Yes.
how I was immobilized? I mean, I was like shaming myself all over the place because I literally had a pile of things I just needed to take to the post office and I couldn't leave my house. I like literally was not mentally and emotionally okay with going to the post office. It for some reason gave me a panic attack. So if you are interested in us doing an episode on causes of anxiety, or I feel like we did one about anxiety, but like just things that cause anxiety, how to deal with that. Like you're not alone if blank is what causes you the most stress. Like you're not alone. You're not the only person, you know, like other people experience it too. So I know I'm not the only person that experiences post office anxiety because I've met other survivors that experience the same.
No, and I have mail anxiety. I think I've confessed to this before that I don't go to my mail. You know, I live in one of those neighborhoods where they have the centralized post office boxes. So my mailbox is like a block and a half that way. And so I only go about maybe a couple of times a month. And sometimes the postman takes my mail because he thinks I've died or something, and I have to go to the post office and pick it up.
The people at the Bedford post office were not kind to me at all.
I'm so sorry.
It was a horrible experience, and I never got my boxes, and I got a phone call. They were saying that they didn't receive the proper postage and that they're going to send it into nowhere land, and so I might never get my stuff. So, and I had to like pack some of my stuff that people gave me as gifts into boxes to mail to myself because my luggage was overweight. And so anyway, it was just frustrating. I was like disappointed in that, but I don't know. It was the whole day was a weird day, but I'm going to plan way farther in advance next time and mail my stuff the day before or something. So yeah. That's part of my post office anxiety. When I show up there, bad things happen.
Yeah.
Like every time I go to the post office, you guys, I'm receiving some sort of, like I remember I was in a relationship with an abuser, and they charged up all my credit cards and like bought computers and bought a boat. And then I got left with all of the bills and I couldn't pay them and I had to file bankruptcy. And it was so traumatizing for me. I was already a single mom, just doing my best to make ends meet and like just doing my best.
Right.
And I was so proud of myself that I had a credit card and that I had good credit. I was like, haha, I'm like finally doing it. This is amazing. I'm so stoked right now. I started my very first business, and I was making flyers for people, like, you know, doing graphic design and making flyers. And I had my own credit card for the business. It was a $10,000 credit line. And next thing you know, I was just duped, and computers were purchased, a boat was purchased, and I didn't have any recourse. It was just, anyway. So the mail, like it's every time I go to the mailbox, there's something bad, like a situation, you know, whether like when I was in Texas, I went and I just needed to use the little outside kiosk to purchase my stickers to mail my packages. And you can just get your boxes, they print out the stickers, you go, you load your boxes, and then you drop them back off, or the hotel will do it for you. So that they didn't have the stickers in the machine. So I had to go inside and wait in line. And then they said, well, we don't even have that sticker. Sorry. And I said, okay, well, I just need, can I please just pay for 4 sets of priority mail flat rate postage so that I can mail my stuff? Because I'm already like, this has taken like 35 to 40 minutes longer than I needed it to. I'm going to miss my flight. And they're like, sorry, we can't give you postage for empty boxes. You just don't do that. That's against government policy. And so anyway, long story short, I ended up missing my flight in Dallas, and I ended up rerouted, staying the night in Phoenix, paying for a hotel, paying $200 extra for baggage. And it ended up costing me like $400 more than it should have to be on my trip. So the profit I made being on a trip where I was speaking was not really a profit. It was actually a negative. So that was really frustrating, because then I shamed myself saying, well, I should have planned it all out. And I felt like I deleted all my growth. So if you feel like you've deleted your growth, like your personal growth that you have in your recovery, all those things I was thinking were all lies. Like, I didn't delete anything. I'm more resilient from it, and I'm learning from it, and I'm going to plan hours or days in advance next time I need to mail something, and just try to conquer that fear. Because I have a fear of the post office. I just do. They don't do what they say they're going to do, and it's not easy. It's hard, like with the mail, Bobby, like the people that take your mail, like, leave the mail alone. I wonder if like there are other people out there that have like mail and post office phobias, or if it's like just me. I mean, I know I can't be alone. Every time I think it's just me, I get a wave of emails. So I'm prepared right now to receive all your emails. If you guys are even like still paying, we still have viewers. We still have people hanging in there to hear me ramble on about the post office. Oh my gosh. This all has to be part of our blooper reel, Bobby. It all has to be. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think we should do a video on like sources of anxiety, or like if you think you're alone in this causing you anxiety, like you're not alone because there's a whole video about it type of a thing.
Right. Right. Maybe kind of I thought it was only me.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to write that down. I thought it was only me. Did I forget anything else other than to stop rambling, Bobby?
No, I don't think so. Tomorrow is December, the first day of December. Brand new month as we're heading into the holidays. Be aware, and we are painfully aware, that the holidays can be a difficult time for people. They remind us of the family that perhaps we don't have access to anymore. Or they may be triggering for you because you had horrible holidays when you were a child. We have some videos up about coping with the holidays, and we would encourage you to take a look at those. And we would just encourage you to practice the most excellent self-care this month and as the holidays approach. And it is okay if you are not happy, jolly, ho, ho, ho about Christmas. You have permission not to be happy about it.
You don't have to be happy about everything, you guys. Christmas is a hard time. I mean, especially for survivors, other people that are normals, many of them are sitting around the table singing Kumbaya, like during Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas or any of the other, holidays that are going on. And here we are sort of ostracized from our family. We don't receive those Christmas cards. We don't have those holiday gatherings to sit around and go watch, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman. I love those movies. They're my favorite. They only come on once a year, and now they're on video, but whatever. We mentioned that in a previous broadcast, Bobby. I love those movies. But yeah, it can be a very triggering time. And if you want to hang out with us, just send us a message and let us know you want to hang out with us. We're doing a 2-hour holiday special on Predators.
Yeah, on the 28th. 28th of December, so the last Monday of this month, December, sorry. It's almost December. 2.5 more hours here in my time zone.
We're doing a 2-hour holiday special on Predators, you guys, on the 28th. So it's normal time. Tune in normal time, and we will be doing some live Q&A, but we're mostly going to be focused on the topic of Predators. and just what to look for and things that might surprise you about predators and the different masks that they wear initially and then what they end up being. And we just want to be able to equip you, and that is right in between Christmas and New Year's, and that's on the 28th of December. If you're watching this live, that's 2015. There will be a replay, and so you can always find the replay, no worries. And we love spending time with you guys. Obviously, that's why we go long on our videos. So we want to be respectful and allow you guys to get on with the rest of your evening/morning/day. And if this has been helpful for you, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and be reminded that if it's within the first 24 to 48 hours of recording this video, which means the month of November 2015, 1st of December, please know that the video will be deleted and we will have it transcribed and the new video with the intros and outros and everything back up in about 24 to 48 hours. So your comment could get deleted, and we will do our very best to respond to you as quickly as we possibly can. We love you and we appreciate your patience. So blessings to you, and during this holiday season that can be very triggering, you're safe with us. We're not going to force you to act like Bobby said, like jolly, jolly, ho, ho, ho. This is a really rough time of year, and you're not alone. You have us. And hopefully that gives you a little bit of comfort. And we'll be announcing our 2016 schedule and videos, and sort of planning ahead, like a month ahead with the different topics. Get some memes up so you guys can start sharing some memes on the entire month of like the schedule of that way. If somebody sees a topic that's like super exciting to them, then they can like retweet it, and maybe we'll have a little bit more attendance and more sharing, and obviously raise awareness more and help more people. So moving forward into 2016, we're really looking forward to that. And we are planning No More Shame November 2016 already, with some super surprises involved, and that's a year away. So Bobby Parrish, Athena Moberg, we love to bring you everything you need for healthy, informed trauma recovery. And please share this with someone you love if you think it might be helpful for them. And remember not to minimize people's struggle and their pain, no matter how old it is, because you minimizing their struggles or their pain, even if it was from a long time ago or whatever, will hinder their post-traumatic growth. And we don't want to hinder anyone's growth. We want to be compassionate and encourage growth in every survivor. So we love you. Anything else, Bobby?
No, I think that's it. We will see you next week. Or if you're watching on YouTube, we'll see you in the next video that you bring up.
That sounds good. All right, guys. We love you, and aloha.